Hello Twin Flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily update. It's not so much daily right now, but the current update of what's going on with the Twin Collective. We take a look at the Feminine Collective, at the Masculine Collective. We'll see what the additional question for today is, and at the end we'll also see how the twins are, what are they thinking towards each other. That's gonna be the question for today. We will start with a quick oracle card, so I'm gonna get started on that right away. I hope you guys are enjoying your month of September. This is a big one. We are right in the middle of the eclipse season. The energy has been off the charts. And I apologize about the noise, by the way. I'm in the yard, as you can see, and it's just furniture cover basically next to me that keeps like flopping around because it's pretty windy. So another alert that I might start grabbing the cards. Hopefully not, but we'll see what happens. Whew. Okay, the first card. Oh, and of course, a quick reminder, if you're new, there's a bunch of information in the description box about my content and my services. Please hit the like button for everyone. If you're new, please subscribe. It helps me spread the word. Thank you so much for being here. All right. I did a pretty powerful reading for the 9-9 portal. If you haven't caught it yet, I suggest that you do. It gave a very good kind of a teaser of the resulting power of the eclipse season. What it brings, what it allows us to work with. I feel like it was really, really powerful. So, for the feminines, you've got the rescue, the 911 call. Are you rescuing somebody else all the time? And that's been your pattern, divine feminines. You feel like you can't help yourself. You just can't. Or do you need some help and you're struggling to ask for it? There are two different scenarios here. And regardless of where you are, I would just say, you know, it's important for the exchange of the energy to be, consensual and also healthy, meaning that it doesn't take away from the person's personal capacity. And I mean, technically it would, I guess, but, you know, it's not supposed to drain them in any way. It's not supposed to detriment their reality. And you can think about it, you can do a quick check in any situations, whether you are giving or receiving, right? Let's call it that way, because rescuing is still a part of a drama triangle, right? The victim rescuer mentality. But like in a healthy exchange, the key word is healthy, which means that if you are helping someone else, it's not supposed to be to the detriment of your own wants and needs, right? Where you're like stretching yourself thin but helping. That's unhealthy. And then on the other side, if you're receiving, you know, you should see this as something healthy that the person is doing, you know, from the goodness of their heart, that there is no agenda, right? And also that you are happy to receive, right? That you feel good about it. If you generally don't feel good about receiving, that's your clue. That's where you should look and see what happened there. When were you taught essentially that you're not worthy of receiving, right? That somehow it's just not good manners, right? It happens to more people than you think, honestly. The vast majority of people cannot receive in a healthy way. They still somehow feel bad. They feel like they need to compensate and do something in return. You know, like sometimes like people discuss a certain relationship and be like, oh yeah, like he or she is doing all these favors for you so that, you know, you are in debt then, that you will owe them something. But the truth is, even if people don't have that agenda, a lot of times that's how we feel. So we assign that meaning. It's like, okay, so they helped me in that situation, now I owe them. Like, not really. That's not the point. Masculines, you've got number 29, coming to life. Wow, you know what? I haven't seen this card in like forever. Didn't even remember that it exists in this deck. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the book. Usually I don't take the book for these cards, but this is pretty interesting. Something beautiful is being born in your life. Love it. And we are 1 week away from new moon, by the way. So this is gonna be, what is it gonna be? New moon. It's still new moon in Virgo, yeah. It's the second new moon in Virgo. When you look at your life, can you see how you've grown and evolved over time? Perhaps you shed skins and identities and created new ones, or at the very least matured in new ideas about yourself and the world that you inhabit. You know things take time, and Spirit's timetable is rarely in sync with your own. This card indicates that a long-held dream is beginning to show signs of life. You must try not to coax it alone or shape it according to your desires. Spirit knows the best form for the manifestation of this dream, and your life can become even better than you could possibly imagine. Now is the time to reverence and awe. Allow the contours of your past to be carved by the hands of the divine. All you have to do is show up. I love it so much. This is beautiful energy. Good for you, Divine Masculine. This is the testament of all the work that you've done in previous cycles, on the cleansing, all the purging, and now you have created the space where you allow. And again, this is part of the receiving process, which again, like for masculines, it's difficult because naturally they are about, the masculine energy is about going out there and taking it, right? It's not really about receiving. So, but this is where you have a chance to connect with your inner feminine energy, right? And also show gratitude and grace and curiosity. And there is nothing wrong with that. All right, moving on with tarot. Looks like the wind has come down a little. I love these pines behind me so much. They're huge old pine trees. They smell delicious. And doing meditation, like underneath these pines, is just mwah. All right. I'm using Movie Tarot today again, but over the weekend I should be able to find more decks, and we'll use something else. Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, Two of Swords is like the choice, right? And in this particular deck, because they are very parallel to each other, to me it's like the choice between two paths. And you never know when a certain seemingly small choice in your life can actually make a difference in terms of the bigger phase or bigger path. Like, what is it that you want to bring in? Which direction do you want to go in, right? And sometimes to say, well, I mean, this decision may not be the best, but right now this makes the most sense. Or like, just for today, I'm gonna go with this. Or I'm gonna say yes to this person one more time, but after that, never again, right? And it seems like, yeah, well, it's not a big deal, right? But each of these decisions can create its own karmic cycle then you'll have to deal with afterwards, especially if it turns out not to be in alignment, right? And that's what we're talking about here. All right. Four of Cups for the clarifier deck. Yeah, Four of Cups is like regrets, and sometimes regrets can get us into the unfortunate path or bring unfortunate decisions, you know? Where it was like, yeah, I was like chasing the dream, spent so much time on it, and it didn't pan out to be what I wanted, or it never happened for me, and I've wasted all that time and opportunity, and now I'm just gonna play it safe, right? This is like one of the dangerous things that we may want to tell ourselves, especially on a spiritual journey, on a light worker journey. Anyways, feminines, your energy today is King of Wands clarified by Eight of Pentacles. Very industrious energy, very much entrepreneurial. I'll be honest with you, I definitely feel a lot of that energy in the air for myself, for my own story. But also what's interesting is that it doesn't take away from who you are. It's not about creating an artificial persona of like who's gonna look good in a shot, or who people are gonna listen to based on their look and style, something like that. It's like, I mean, it doesn't hurt, of course, to learn, to pick up some new skills, but don't invent someone who doesn't really exist, because your most important, most precious legacy, and information that you can share comes from you. And the way you show up, you're supposed to be yourself as much as possible, right? And remember, even like when we talk about deeper topics on the spiritual journey, we don't say necessarily like you need to, like, this is your guru, so you need to be like them, like start doing things like them, or like certain things, pick up certain hobbies. It's more about how can you bring out the authentic you, the beautiful you that exists inside that the world needs. We don't need another copy of that guru, right? We need the unique you. Like, that's the secret, that's the ultimate goal. Masculines, your energy right now is the Magician clarified by strengths. This is so beautiful and powerful. I love this. This is major arcanas, by the way. So I feel like what we've been reading about with that card, what was it called, Coming to Life, that this is like very much a continuation of that message. And the divine is bringing in these different experiences to you, divine masculine, where you can really step into your power, where you can see how you're like being in the conscious and aligned state of mind can create miracles in your life, can show you your power, your strength, your courage, your determination, and of course your gifts and talents in a completely new light, right? Where it was almost always hashtag almost there, and now it's like wow, and it's just happening, and doesn't require too much force or energy, right? I allow this in. This is just who I am. Love it. What is the additional question for today? Page of Swords clarified by King of Pentacles. All right, yeah, so we're looking at how do we manifest the abundance into our lives. Where do we start? What's important on this journey right now, right? Like, what could be the tip of the day for bringing in the abundance that we need? For feminines, it's the Star clarified by Two of Pentacles. It's like, yeah, you don't need to choose between the obvious logical choices. You're supposed to choose something that's empowering and exciting to you, and then you can then connect like how that maps out to like how can I monetize it, or how can I share this with people, right? What can come out of it? How can I inspire others with this? I'll give you a very brief example. I know this is getting a little long, but one of my latest passions is drawing, or painting rather, and I did a watercolor marathon in spring, so I have all the supplies, watercolors, everything you need for them, and so that's what I'm doing from time to time. And it's very casual, and obviously I was just learning, and I started with the basics, honestly. So for me, it's like very much like I'm just doing it for myself, right? Maybe a few friends that I share it with, but nothing more than that. But it is so inspiring. And when I told this story, I actually have a podcast episode about method in art that is connected to that. So if you're interested in a story, there is a link to the playlist in the description, and you can search for that specific episode, right? So I shared in terms of my approach, my thoughts, like what my process was approaching this new thing. And now I can also share how much doing something seemingly as unimportant and maybe juvenile even as this actually connects me to source and connects me to my inner child on a completely different level that I couldn't imagine. Does dance do it for me? Yes, but because I've known dance for such a long time, it's still different, right? And it's important and to me, dance is serious to a certain degree because it supports my physical fitness, because it supports my somatic approach to like working with my body, because most of the time I'm preparing some kind of choreography for a performance, right? And I'm working with someone else, so it's like becomes a bigger deal. It's more serious. For this, it's like whenever I feel like it, right, and I have a chance, I might do something. I might not even show it to anybody in the world. I'm just doing it for myself. But these little things could just like be whatever it is that you need right now to tip the scale and for the magic to start pouring into your reality. Masculines, you have the Knight of Cups clarified by Ten of Wands. We've seen the Ten of Wands energy, of course, in the recent reading. The Nine and Portal was about that as well. And if you remember, I spoke a lot about the completion, and that in the single digits, this is the last single digit that we have. So numerologically wise, this is like the completion, right? Because 10 technically is 1, but just on the next level. So for masculines right now, the important part is to stick with your emotional balance, right? And be connected to your heart space so you don't create new challenges and new burdens for yourself. And I already spoke about that, so I'm not going to go into details. You can go back to like the beginning of the video and see for yourself, you know, how little things like, okay, I'm just gonna go with, you know, my coping mechanism just for today because I've had a long week. You know, maybe it's some kind of addictive behavior, right? And it's like, just this once I'm gonna allow myself. Or a person that is toxic and not good for you, you're like, well, just today I'm gonna spend time with them. One time is not gonna do anything, right? Like, stay away from those things and stick to your guns and stick to that alignment emotionally. Very much feel into that space, heart space of like, what instincts do you get when you're in this situation or you're about to make a certain decision. What are the feminines thinking towards the masculines right now? Two of Coins again, clarified by Page of Cups. And Page of Cups we also, I think, had, maybe not. Yeah, so right now for the feminines, it's like there's a lot, like they see certain immaturity with divine masculines, and there is a choice that the feminines have of like, how much do I want to intervene with that? Do I want to share the knowledge, my own experience, and help them, or do I just want to step aside and let them have their experience, right? So there is this call, maybe even on the 5D level, that masculines may be struggling emotionally, right? But now the feminines are struggling a little bit with making that decision. Do I step in, or do I leave it to let go and let God, so to speak? What are the masculines thinking towards the feminines? Three of Swords, clarified by Page of Pentacles. Also Page. Pages are quite immature, quite fresh. You know, it's that kind of energy. But it's also an opportunity for a new beginning, for doing things different. Page of Pentacles, if anything, is about kindness, about little tokens of attention. And masculines are thinking about the feminines and like, what kind of tokens of attention can they provide without going too deep, without risking it too much, because on a certain level they're still healing, whether it's from past episodes with the feminine or somebody completely different, right? And for them right now, it's like they want to express how much you mean to them, but they don't want this to mean too much in divine feminine's eyes, if it makes sense, right? Like they're not ready to like dive into like, deep committed relationship stuff necessarily, right? But they still want you in their life, and they want to show you that you're important. So for divine feminines watching, if you had doubts, this is your confirmation that your masculine knows that you're important to them. They're thinking about it, they know it, they just don't necessarily know how to express it. All right, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I love you all, and until next time, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, bye.